There we go. Look at this. Look at this. We're all just getting stuff ready here. This is what happens. Frantic press conferences. We're here though. Fine hotel. What I like is that it's always busy.
Yeah.
I like it. A busy one. We've got a busy press conference here. The world's media. Oh, there you go. There we go. There you go, that's more like it. There you go. You don't want to see the back of our heads, do you? You want to see the front of our faces. Look, we're here now. Cyan Hotel, the press conference is about to get underway. You can see Eddie Hearn in the background here. Derek Chisora floating around. No sign of the fighters yet. They are coming though, I promise you. AJ versus Dillian Whyte. We're going to see them go face to face again, just like they did back in 2015, and that was explosive.
Yeah, of course.
A bit older, a bit wiser. They've both been through tough times and good times. It's going to be interesting to see what it's like when they go face to face.
Look, I know for a fact there's going to be energy in this room. There's bad energy there. They don't like each other, and that's going to be apparent on August 12th when they get in the ring. They're going to leave it all in the ring. There is that bad blood, and they're not. Look, there may be handshakes, but I know. I
don't even think there'll be a handshake. I don't think there'll be a handshake.
I know, though, for a fact, and I'm sure you'll agree, when that first bell goes, it's fireworks.
Yeah.
It's absolute fireworks. Because, look, tactically, Dillian Whyte has to get on AJ's chest. He's got to try and land that big left hook. He cannot afford to stand off AJ. We see that against Tyson Fury. He got picked apart and knocked out. He has to get on the chest. For that reason, it's going to be fireworks. AJ's not going to stand off him. I think AJ's going to mix fire with fire. We see he exercised demons, if you like, when he fought Franklin.
Did he?
Well, I think in some respects. He got a 12-round fight under his belt. He won the fight comfortably. I personally don't think it was a bad performance. You want to see blood. You want to see someone knocked out in heavyweight boxing, in boxing full stop. But more importantly, he got the job done. I think he looked good. When you strip it all back, he was disciplined. He stuck to a good game plan, a very good game plan. He got the job done. Now it's about putting bums on seats and saying, wow, he's got that fire back. He's got that spite back. Yeah, both with new trainers, obviously. Anthony Joshua with Derek James. Let's not forget as well, Dillian Whyte with Buddy McGirt. How long does it take to get in sync with a new trainer? I've always said I think AJ needs about 3 or 4 fight camps under Derek James to kind of know what Derek James wants from him. And the same can be said about Dillian Whyte and Buddy McGirt. They haven't got that. As much as I want 3 or 4, you get 1 or 2 now in the heavyweight game. Who do you think's best suited to their new trainer? I mean, I like
the big questions.
Look, we heard, didn't we? AJ say at the Franklin press conference he enjoys being in Dallas. He's enjoying working with Derek James. That's important. It's all well and good saying how many fights you need. Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? It's your desire, it's your hunger. Do you want to work with someone? Do you still want this? Do you want to do it? Do you want to travel the other side of the world? Are you still that disciplined? So for that, I like what I heard. Do you know what I mean? I like what I'm hearing. Dillian Whyte, look, is his ambition still to be a world champion? Right, I'm going to ask the question, or is it to sort of, look, it sounds so bad saying
it just to stay relevant, stay there, stay active, more fight?
Or is he cashing out?
Yeah.
Is he cashing out? Is this his big last fight? You know, I've no doubt he will roll the dice and he'll go for it, but the reason I asked that is desire will play a big part in this fight. When it starts getting tough, when it starts getting grueling, money is not always enough. It's about ambition, desire for Dillian Whyte to be a world champion, finally call himself a heavyweight world champion, for Anthony Joshua to call himself a 3-time heavyweight champion. That has got to be the sole reason, because when it gets tough, that's what you're going to fall back on. Indeed it is.
Anthony Joshua, the path to glory starts now. Let's find out a bit more about the big man, AJ.
Great British rivalries. Does anyone do it better? Flickering away in the darkness, the fire never truly dies. Waiting for the perfect moment to reignite.
Things that it's some sort of mystery, man.
I knocked you out clean.
In the battleground of the O2 Arena, 2 of heavyweight boxing's biggest names will meet again for one last dance. One final war.
Emotions are clearing.
Anthony Joshua.
The return to London.
Dillian Whyte.
He's built for the big occasion.
2 men with history. A history of victory. A history of revenge.
Redemption.
A history of pain.
The most shocking turnaround.
A history of violence.
Oh, big right hand. Ferocious finish. He's all over the place. So much at stake here.
Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte 2. August the 12th, live only on DAZN.
I love a good promo. I love a good promo. It just tells you the story in about a minute there. History of violence. Eddie Hearn joins us now, the busiest man I've ever come across in my life. I don't know, is this you? Is this you? Or is
it's been a tough.
Is this another lookalike?
We were supposed to be Mexico, LA, Detroit, and then we got this fight done. It was just pop back for a day and then off you go. So that one feels sorry for me, but then Darren pointed out that the beds are comfy on the plane. I was like, mate,
he was moaning about them.
Moaning about first class. It's still a long journey. It's still a long journey. We're here, another busy press conference. I was saying to Darren at the top of the show, it's always good to see a packed press conference. We like the small shows, but we all love the big shows, don't we?
Yeah, I think this is what British boxing needs, to be honest with you. I think it's what we need. I think it's what DAZN need. I think it's what AJ needs. I think it's what Dillian Whyte needs. It's just a huge British boxing event.
Yeah.
And, you know, people talk about, is it the right fight? Is it that big? It's massive. I mean, we've got less than 100 tickets left. We went on sale 3 hours ago. It's going to be a complete roadblock at the O2. It's going to be a thrilling fight. And I can't wait for these guys to come head-to-head today. I don't know what we're going to get. If I'm Dillian Whyte, I'm trying to get in the head. I'm trying to stick it on him. I'm trying to send him back to Dallas, doubting where he's at mentally. But what I like about this fight for AJ is this is the fight from the first discussions that he said, I want.
Yeah.
And when I went back and said, we can't get Dillian, what about Kabayel? What about Warlin? What about Hergovich? He went, what about Dillian? Can't we go back to him? Do you know what I mean? It was the one he wanted, and I think we're gonna bring the fire out of him on August 12th.
Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Are both careers on the line on August 12th?
Yeah, people talk about careers on the line. I mean, I think that AJ wants to operate at the top level. He wants to try and win the World Heavyweight Championship for a third time. And if he loses to Dillian Whyte, that seems an eternity away. I mean, look, when we sat down with Saudi Arabia to talk about the Wilder fight, they said, look, please don't let him fight on August the 12th. I said, look, he wants to. I said, okay, can you give him an easy fight? I said, he wants to fight Dillian Whyte. Please don't let him fight Dillian Whyte on August the 12th. He's fighting Dillian Whyte. No problem, just to let you know, if you lose that fight, you see this offer, it's off the table, right? I mean, that made my bum go a little bit, and you know. But for AJ, he's like, no, I need to be beating people like Dillian Whyte to prepare myself for Deontay Wilder, and I like that attitude. You know, when I went to Dallas last week, I saw a very happy AJ. I saw a guy that believes he's really gelling now with Derek James. I mean, the stable's unbelievable in Dallas. You know, now you've got Ryan Garcia, you've got the Charlos, you've got Errol Spencer.
Is that a danger? Is it a danger to have so many head honchos in
I
one
think the
camp?
opposite.
Yeah,
I personally think the opposite.
Yeah.
I think great for him to. I mean, he's watching Errol spar. He's a student at a game. Like, it's weird that after everything that he's achieved, he's still just that hungry kid in the gym that's trying to learn, that's trying to improve, and everything that he does, like it's almost obsessive to improve. You know, it's finished training. What can we do at home that night? You know, you had to see me doing that silly thing where you're touching these lights for reactions, and you know, you're sleeping with these glasses on, and you're just trying to get those.
I might have to start doing all that.
You got to do it all,
You're not
mate.
even trying to get the percentages. You're trying to get the 0.001 of the percentages. So that tells me this kid's hungry. It's not just like, oh, let's go and make a few quid against Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder. It's like, let's beat these guys. And I love the fact that he's willing to take this risk before a fight like Deontay Wilder.
How hungry is Dillian Whyte, do you think? It's a question to both of you as well.
He's going to have to be hungry, and I don't think being hungry for money is enough. He's got to have that desire, that will to become a heavyweight world champion. That's got to be his goal, because it will get tough in there against AJ, and I don't feel fighting for money is enough. He's got to have that ambition. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think the same. I think, you know, both guys have changed a lot from that first fight. I mean, they were kind of naive back then. They were a little bit wild. But when they look each other in the eye today, nothing really changes from the kids they were back then or the kids they were in the amateurs when Dillian Whyte won. It's a competitive nature, it's pride, and it's the warrior instinct for these guys saying, and I know when AJ looks Dillian Whyte in the eye, he's thinking, I can't wait to knock you out. And Dillian Whyte's looking at him going, I can't wait to end your career. Now, whether they say that today, which I think they might.
Probably will, yeah.
But I don't, you know, there's definitely more respect now than there was back then. But they still don't like each other. And again, if I'm Dillian today, I'm trying to push the buttons. I'm trying to send him back to Dallas, just doubting himself a little bit. And I think AJ's going to enjoy it up there. I don't think he wants to be in that fight up there where he's got an opponent in the other corner that people are criticising, maybe doesn't talk English and there's no real interaction. I think he wants to get on a plane and go, I can't wait, back to the Lion's Den.
What is it about these two where there is, and I would call it hatred. I generally don't think there's a like there. Normally when you have a fight where there is a dislike, you almost grow that respect because of the fight, the battle. With those two, though, it doesn't seem there's been any respect at all.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, everyone, in the world we live in today, which is like 10 or 20 interviews a day, you're going to say something that's going to aggravate someone. You know what these guys are like? What do you think about him? Do you think he's finished? Do you think he's mentally weak? Do you think he's a bit strange? Do you think? And you just answer it. Next thing, the clickbait headlines come out, and it's like Dillian Whyte says AJ is weird or mentally finished or something. And AJ sees all that stuff. So he looks at that, and then, you know, AJ will say, I think Dillian Whyte's a bum or whatever. And like, next thing, it's just, this is the world we live in. So I think the thing I'm looking forward to most today is the head-to-head. You know, because I get to see it this far away. Do you know what I mean? When these two are looking each other in the eye from here.
Has he said anything to AJ about this fight as far as the needle part's concerned?
No, just this is the fight I want. I think I can get myself up for this fight. I think I can showcase the things that I'm working on with Derek James, and I think it's going to give me the impetus and the momentum to go in there, do a job on him, and go and fight Deontay Wilder.
This fight does not go 12 rounds. It does not go 12 rounds. It's impossible. And I look at that, and I think that's what, if Anthony Joshua was to win going into that Wilder fight, I think he was very disciplined. I don't think the Franklin win was a bad performance at all.
But interestingly, when I spoke to him in Dallas, he says it was a poor performance.
Really?
Yeah, if you ask him about his performance, and most fighters will try and, whether he says that publicly, he said, no, it was I was terrible that night.
Yeah.
So he acknowledges. It's not like he's trying, like, no, I was good. You know, I defended well, my feet were good. He says, no, that wasn't good enough. Now, watch me under Derek James. We've had that fight, we've adapted. You know, he's sparring, before I met him, he'd just done 12 rounds with Michael Hunter and, you know, a lot of other top heavyweights as well.
Good heavyweight.
Everyone's talking very well about what they're seeing in the gym this time around. And I think we're going to get a great fight.
Obviously, look, the focus is on AJ, but Dillian Whyte's got a new trainer as well, Buddy McGirt. He had him for Jermaine Franklin. How better do you think Dillian's going to be?
Yeah, that's the same, really, isn't it? They've both had one fight with it, which, when you go into the next fight with that trainer, you're going to be much better prepared. You're going to gel more with that trainer. So I expect to see improvements from Dillian Whyte in this fight. And again, look, I was around both guys. They weren't really up for the Jermaine Franklin fight. That's the reality. They wanted to win. They trained really hard. But it's just different. This fight's different. It means so much more. And that's why, as a promoter, it's such a buzz. Because sometimes you turn up to a fight and it's like, yeah, it's a good fight, and then you get fights like this. And it's like, blimey. And you know, if Dillian Whyte knocks out AJ, very likely that's the end of the career.
And
it's
the
weird.
belt...
It's
the
weird.
belt
And he was smiling, and then just stopped.
I know, you were like that.
The thought of it, the thought of it for all of us. Look, it isn't just AJ versus Whyte. It's a big month for DAZN. It is the small matter as well of Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz.
This is it. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, live only on DAZN pay-per-view, August 5th. A legend of the MMA game, ready for war against a global superstar, set to bring the pain, to silence the haters, and leave one victorious. Like it or not, this is the most explosive fight of the year. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Ready for war. August 5th, live only on DAZN pay-per-view.
I've never felt such like a non-boxer. Like, one world champion's fine with a promoter. 2 world champions on the stage with me. I'm going to have to get the gloves out and see what I can do. Jake Paul, Nate Diaz, by the way. That's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah,
I like that.
I mean, I like it. That's gonna turn a lot of heads, put a lot of bums on seats, and it's kind of that crossover-y sort of fight. I think you get a lot of boxing fans,
a lot of
tuning
MMA
in and
fans as well.
Exactly.
I think it does really good pay-per-view numbers.
It's a boxing match with technically 2 guys don't box.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. But you've got to be with Jake Paul. You've got to give him his credit. He's worked at it. He can do anything he wants. The guy's a rich guy, but he's worked at it. Yeah, he's in the gym all the time, trying to get better. He's looking for competitive fights now. He had his few early easy fights. He's looking for competitive fights, and coming back off a loss. And he's getting a guy who's not a boxer. But Diaz is an experienced combat
Should be an interesting one. I've just been told Dillian Whyte is in the building.
He's in the building.
He's in the building. We are still waiting for Mr. Anthony Joshua, who I'm sure is going to turn up very, very shortly. When this fight was announced, Baz, go on, give me your first thoughts.
Yes. I think it's the fight that we'll, as a public, it stylistically can't be a dull fight. But it's the fight they both need. I believe that. I think for Dillian, it's the fight that gets him back in the conversation of those other big names, those top 5, let's say. And for Anthony Joshua, all those questions about is he fully committed to his attacks, which is the biggest issue. Again, in the Franklin fight, he boxed well, but he doesn't commit to those power shots like he used to. Dillian will force that. And if he doesn't do that, Dillian will knock him out. And he knows that, because the way Dillian fights, he's the way we like Dillian, he makes loads of mistakes, but he's committed to it. Every time he throws a punch, it's 100%. He's all in, isn't he? He's all in with every punch he throws. And now, in this stage of his career, he's a little bit slower. There'll be gaps to be hit there for Anthony to hit. But he has to be mentally right, Joshua. If you can, there's a big gap. When Dillian throws a punch, any punch, there's a big gap down the middle. And that's the avenue for Joshua, because Joshua's correct puncher, punches inside his body frame, turns from his hips. But if he doesn't commit, he gets knocked out. But if he does commit, you got a target there to really make a statement.
Darren, let's go back if we can to their fight December 2015. We're going to show some pictures of that now. What do you remember so much about that fight?
Again, I mean, similar to what it's going to be like on August the 12th, the energy that was in that arena, it was just fireworks.
That was crazy.
This was crazy.
I thought the fight was going to be off.
I mean, man, you see a picture of Peter Sims come in, Tony Sims come in. It was just carnage. It was absolute carnage. And
I'm laughing because I love it.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe not the antics afterwards, but we're going to see this. This is what you're going to see. You're going to see fireworks. In my opinion, he can't be as reckless as this Dillian Whyte, but he's got to be in front of AJ. He's got to be on the chest. He's got to let the shots go, and he's got to try and watch out.
See,
from the uppercut.
I think he's got to just start 100 miles an hour from the first bell.
On the chest.
And especially with if there is any question about Joshua's mental state, then you question that early as you possibly can. So he got to come out all guns blazing and commit. And the thing about Dillian Whyte, he knows he can be hurt, but he doesn't care. He's a little bit in the same sort of vein as a Chisora. They know they can be. I mean, a fight.
But they almost walk through it, don't they? They're almost like they know.
They're prepared to get hurt.
Yeah, defensively we're not the best, so we're going to walk through the fight.
He's got to watch out for that.
AJ, this finisher here. When AJ had him hurt there, it was like a minute later, AJ's throwing 30, 40 punches. He's going 5-6 punch combinations. Does that finisher AJ still exist?
I don't know. We'll fight. Again, this is the perfect fight to find out, because on form, he's one of the best finishers in the world.
Yeah.
When he was at his prime, Joshua. Will we see that guy again? Well, we haven't seen it yet for a long time. Even though he's boxed well, he didn't box terrible in the Usyk fights. He just got totally outboxed by a guy who's a better boxer. In the Ruiz fight, he boxed really well, but but all these fights, and same with Franklin, he's where he was coming back. Where previously he was never this gung-ho maniac that our memory thinks he was. He was always a thoughtful fighter, but once he hit you with a good shot, he was in. He was on you. He was committed, and he made sure you didn't last.
Look, the belt on the line, August 12th, is the belt of bragging rights. And if that doesn't get that bit of fire and spite out of AJ, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
We've seen he's a proud man. They don't like each other. He'll have to walk around knowing he's just been beaten by Dillian Whyte. That will play havoc in his head. So, I mean, look, for that reason, I just feel we will see that finisher. We will see that spike. We will see that fight.
I remember, if we can rewind back to 2018, Dillian Whyte had that fantastic run, didn't he? It was Chisora, Joseph Parker, Oscar Rivas, solid. And I think because of those three performances, tough fights, but because of those three performances, I think we all put him in that kind of world-level bracket as a heavyweight, and rightly so. Is he still in that? But when we think of Dillian Whyte as a world-level operator in the heavyweight division, where is he?
I think he's below the top tier now, I would say that. I just think, and listen, Joshua's clinging on. Let's be honest with all that. He's still in the top 4 or 5, Joshua, but he's clinging on. And there's a new breed coming up right behind him, you see, as well. Let's not forget about that. But I think for Dillian, I think he's just popped out to that little group now.
Yeah.
And he needs, because even in the Povetkin second fight, where he righted that defeat, he still looked vulnerable.
Yeah.
And against Fury, let's be honest, he didn't look like he was ever in the races to me. So, is that a sign of decline?
See, that's probably why he said, you know what, new trainer. That's why he's obviously called for the services of Buddy McGirt, who's a very, very good trainer.
But I would say, when you're a fighter like Dillian Whyte and you're all in with your attacks, athleticism, aggression, power, all those can hide frailties in your makeup, in the structure of your work, the fundamentals. So once you start to slow down a little bit, they become more apparent. So when you do learn to do the basics well, like Joshua does, when things don't work for him, he can keep his hands up high, elbows tucked in tight, and weather storms. He can't do that, Whyte. The way he throws his punches, the way he brings that foot forward, he's all in. But when you start to slow down, what used to be threatening to you becomes a threat to you. You just put yourself in harm's way. And I think we saw that against Fury. He was throwing, missing clearly, and Fury was able to hit him almost a free target.
Back to AJ. Obviously, Eddie came and spoke about the carrot being dangled in front of his face. This Deontay Wilder fight, we're hearing money from 60 to 100 million, whoever you want to believe. How dangerous is that for AJ?
Massive.
I mean, does he need to look more than just impressive to get that fight, or is that fight regardless of the victory?
Regardless. I mean, he'll want to, for confidence sake, look good and look devastating and look, get that dramatic finish. I think we see 12 good rounds against Franklin. Very, very smart boxing, disciplined performance. But now we want to see that bit of spite.
What if we see that same performance against Dillian?
He'll still get the Wilder fight, but I don't think that will do his confidence of Wilder good.
Yeah.
I feel he's missing that knockout, that show real KO. For him to say, do you know what? I have still got it there.
It's that's what we haven't seen. He boxed well against Franklin.
Anthony Joshua, by the way, has just entered the building. Looking lean. I'm always fascinated by Anthony Joshua's weight. I don't know why I am. Obviously, we've seen him...
Because you're on your weight cut.
Maybe because I'm on my weight cut. I'm trying to... What does he look like? I'm going to guess here and say he looks around 18 stone. Obviously, still a long time to go until the fight, but I'm thinking around 18 stone. I think he's going to come a bit lighter. That's what I think. Anyway, Baz, you've got to run off. I know you've got to do your duties. Big fight this weekend as well for Josh Kelly. He takes on Corzo. I'll be there in the Northeast. This is Josh Kelly.
A win will put Kelly within touching distance of a shot at the world title.
Oh, nice right hand there for Kelly.
The unbeaten Corzo will be a tricky opponent for the Brit.
It's all going down in Newcastle.
You don't want to miss this one.
Oh, how exciting is this? When you see Dillian Whyte walking with his entourage and AJ walking, it does bring you back to 2015.
Yeah,
I feel like I've gone all the way back to 2015. Yes, the fighters are a bit older, hopefully a bit wiser, but you just sense that this is going to get explosive in here.
Yeah, look, you say a bit wiser. No doubt they're more wiser. They're a lot more experienced, but I guarantee that will all go out the window when that bell goes on August 12th. Just there's so much on the line in the sense that this man has got a huge fight looming in December. Dillian Whyte is fighting for the goal of still being a heavyweight world champion. The bragging rights, there is so much to take into account here.
Indeed it is. It's interesting, I was looking behind me, just seeing if Derek James was here. He's not here, obviously getting Errol Spence ready for Terence Crawford. Buddy McGurk, though, is here with Dillian Whyte. I'm whispering now because we're about to start this press conference. The world's media are here as well. Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte. Eddie Hearn's waiting for us. So without further ado, let's head downstairs to Eddie Hearn to get this party started.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to London ahead of a fight that I can't still believe is happening. Anthony Joshua against Dillian Whyte, August 12th, O2 Arena, live and exclusive on DAZN pay-per-view, a massive fight for the heavyweight division. A little bit more than 7 years ago, these two came head-to-head. I saw a picture of today, unrecognisable, really. Young, naive, hungry, and now, some 7 years on, 2 world heavyweight titles and a plethora of huge heavyweight fights for Dillian Whyte in sold-out stadiums, O2 Arena, all around the world as these two heavyweights collide in London once again. Victory in the amateurs, victory in the pros. Some call it the decider. I call it a must-win for 2 of Britain's biggest heavyweights. This fight has absolutely everything, and it was the fight that both guys wanted. For Anthony Joshua, talks of a Deontay Wilder fight, talks of a world heavyweight title fight, completely irrelevant. From the get-go on August 12th, he wanted this man to my left, who we know always steps up to every challenge. 2 great trainers in the corner, of course, Buddy McGurk, Derek James, who's out in Las Vegas with Errol Spence. This fight has everything, and we can also announce that, having gone on sale this morning, this fight is completely sold out. It's a huge night for British boxing. It's a huge night for the heavyweight division. It's what both guys need. It's what the heavyweight division needs. It's what British boxing needs. This is a massive fight and the biggest fight so far for DAZN in the UK. Alfie Sharman from DAZN, ahead of a huge schedule coming up. This is really the biggest moment for DAZN so far.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Eddie. Great news. I mean, no surprise on the sellout. Look, we're incredibly excited to have this event. There's been some speculation that the heavyweight division had been sleeping at the wheel in 2023, and we've certainly lit a fire under that with this fight. So domestic fights always bring amazing energy, unique energy, especially when you've got two household names at the elite level. When we started working with Anthony, we both wanted blockbuster fights. Everybody at DAZN wanted to deliver those brilliant fights, and in Dillian we've got a world-class elite heavyweight who's been fighting at the top of his game for a long time and been in with the best. And look, as you said, there's that rivalry that goes back to the amateurs through to the pro game, and now on August 12th there needs to be a final winner. So tune in on DAZN. Thanks to Matchroom and our partners at 258, AJ, Freddie, and obviously Dillian and his team for the hard work over the last few weeks in making this fight happen. And yeah, make sure you tune in August 12th for the biggest heavyweight fight of the year so far, live and exclusive worldwide on DAZN and DAZN pay-per-view in the UK and Ireland.
Thanks, Alfie. Buddy, let's start with you. Some buzz in your gym at the moment. I'm seeing all the video footage. It seems like a great atmosphere out there. Dillian leading the way, a fast turnaround for this fight, but both guys been in camp for some time now. It's just a brilliant heavyweight fight.
Oh, without a doubt. I think it's a fight that boxing needs. I mean, it's very rare today that the best fight the best. So I think this is a good fight for Dill and for the boxing world.
I mean, so many comparisons, obviously, both British heavyweights, both London heavyweights, but also both heavyweights who share the same last opponent, both heavyweights that have had one fight with their new trainer. You know Derek James as well. I mean, two of you, the two of the very best trainers in the sport. Great minds in the corner as well going into this one.
Thank you. I think it's going to be a great night of boxing. Matter of fact, I know it's going to be a great night of boxing. And what better place to have it than here in London?
Obviously, you've watched Anthony Joshua over the years. I know you talked about not watching too many fights in the previous press conference, but you've had a chance now to be with Dillian for that Jermaine Franklin fight. The first fight was an instant classic, one that British boxing will remember for a long time. Everything on the line in this fight. You know your man will be fired up going into the ring on August 12th.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, he's excited about it. He's been talking about it before it was even signed. You know, every day he kept talking about it, and here we are now.
Dillian, welcome. Unbelievable that it's just under 5 weeks to go. I like that about this fight. Sometimes you make a fight that's 12, 13 weeks away. You know, you've been in camp for a long time. Both of you guys had to fly back from the States for this press conference as well. I didn't think this fight would get over the line. It's here, it's happening. The perfect fight for both of you right now?
Yeah, I was ready and waiting for you guys to start what you guys were starting about. You know, once the fight was mentioned, I was like, yeah, you know me, I'm always up for a fight, so it doesn't take long to set a fight to me, especially one like this.
7 years ago, over, since you two faced off at Tower Bridge, a lot has changed. What do you think the difference is now between you and him? I mean, right back then, two hungry, inexperienced guys who gave us a wild night. How have things changed, and we still expect that same crazy night at the O2 on August 12th?
We've both been through a lot, both developed a lot, but we're still chasing improvement, you know, so we've got new teams, new people around us, and I think it's going to be an even better fight than it was the first time, because we're both more experienced, more skilled now, and we've been through stuff, up and downs in fights. Obviously, I've had my rough, he's had his rough, you know, we both have 3 losses as well, so it'll be a good fight, you know, we've still got a lot of hunger in us, and I can't wait to get in there and have some, man.
There's always a lot of analysis, a lot of criticism as well. You've seen AJ throughout his career. Where do you think he's at in his career now? And this is a fight you obviously have a lot of confidence going into.
I don't know, and I don't care. I just prepare for the best version of him, you know what I mean? I don't think, a lot of people saying this, that, and the other. That's for them to say, and not for me to worry about. I just worry about preparing for the best version of him, whether he's still there or not. I don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm coming to fight, and I ain't got nothing to lose, so I'm all good.
I remember that first press conference, you guys were in, I think it was a public workout. You were like hanging around with each other, waiting for each other outside the weights room. You matured a lot since then. You still that aggressive guy that you think both of you still got that same edge, that same chip on your shoulder. You've experienced a lot, you've achieved a lot, you've both made a lot of money. You're still the same competitor right now. You still want to take this guy out? I'm
calm, but like I always say, fuck around and find out. You know, the more you fuck around, the higher the chances you'll find out. So, you know, that's how my mindset, man. Never change.
One question I keep getting from a lot of the media here is is this must-win for both? Is this career-ending for the other one?
That's been my whole career with Matchroom. Must-win fight, must-win fight, must-win fight. Every fight Matchroom's been like that.
But what happens if you lose this fight on August the 12th?
I'm not thinking about it. We'll see what happens. I take it. As I get older, I learn to take it day by day and appreciate today. Worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes, man. So let's see. And
finally, you believe you win this fight by stoppage? I know you're not massive on predictions, but both of you guys have had stuff to say about the other one in terms of where they're at in their career. You believe you have the power to take this guy out on August 12th?
I have the power to take anybody out, you know what I mean? But listen, I'm focusing on getting a victory. If a knockout comes, it comes. But I always try and get the knockout, you know what I mean? But obviously, I listen to what Buddy says and trust what Buddy says, so we'll see what he says. But, I'm a dog and I'm always trying to bite regardless, until the end of the fights. Been fights have been up in points and I tried to get the knockout in the last rounds and been down and, so.
AJ? Saw you in Dallas last week. Every conversation about this August 12th.
How come you didn't come to Florida to see me in the Florida to say AJ? You see what I'm saying? You be bullshitting, man.
What?
You be bullshitting.
What,
you went all the way
to
to Dallas to say AJ, you didn't come to Florida to see me. You be bullshitting.
I didn't think you were going to take the fight.
You be bullshitting, man.
I didn't think you were going to take the fight.
You gotta stop that.
Yeah.
You gotta stop that. Seriously.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't think you'd take the fight.
You didn't feel to take the fight?
No.
You were going to Mexico anyway.
You didn't feel to take the fight?
Yeah, I was going Dallas to Mexico. It was on a stopover. It's okay, I still love you.
Question?
Go on.
What does AJ's balls taste like?
You might find out.
Fuck around and find out.
I think you'll be teabagging you in the 13th.
Fuck around and find out.
Get your own lines, bro. Come on, man. Get your own lines. Relax, bro.
Trust
Relax.
me.
Get your own
Trust
lines,
me.
man.
Anyway.
Yo.
AJ.
What's happening?
This was the fight you said. I kept throwing these other names at you for August 12th. You just didn't seem up for anybody else but Dillian Whyte.
I'm definitely up for fighting. There's a lot of names in the division, for sure. But at the same time, look at what this creates as well. I'm a fighter and I understand that economics of business as well. And this does good business.
Also, is it a case of, when you fought Jermaine Franklin, how much were you really up for that fight as well? You up for this fight? When you look across at this guy, you've got a tremendous rivalry. A lot has changed.
I don't really look at Dillian as a rival, though.
No?
No. Just another body, really. They got a lot of hate for me. A lot of people.
I ain't got no hate for you, bro. I got no hate for you, bro.
A lot of people hate on me, so.
A lot of people, not me, brother.
So with Dillian, I don't really look at him as a rival. I just watch myself. I'm worrying about my lane and what I'm trying to do. So with Jermaine Franklin, I was definitely up for that fight, 100%. But it was respect to Franklin. I made it as easy as I wanted to. I could have made it as difficult as I wanted to. Coming off those losses, get the W. 7-week training camp, boom, bam. We're here now, ready to rock and roll. So I understand my process, and that's why I worry about myself, not what everyone else's opinion is. I know what I've got to do.
When we look back to that night at the O2, I think we were both different fighters then, both quite naive, both a little bit inexperienced as well. People talk about if you've still got that finishing desire, but do you think this is the kind of fight where we see that against an aggressive fighter in Dillian Whyte?
Boxing's about fundamentals, right? There's two ways you can skin a cat, knock out or outclass someone with your fundamentals. So it's whatever way I want to go about it, I'll do it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly what's going to happen because, let's be real, everything I say today is irrelevant. From the experience I've had from 7 years ago, I know when that bell goes, it doesn't matter what I've said, what I've eaten, what I've been through in my life. It's just about getting down and fighting to win, one way or another. So I don't know. You'll find out, though.
What made you take this fight with this risk ahead of, everybody knows about the Wilder fight and that, and the negotiations?
Forget Wilder and them lot. Them lot have been doing my head in for so many years. You lot have seen now the shenanigans in the heavyweight division. Even with, I'll be real, Fury saying that he was training for Usyk. Sugar Hill come out and said that, no, I'm not training him. What do you mean I'm training him for a heavyweight championship fight? You can see all the lies that's been going on. So I don't really waste my time with time wasters. It's only a fight. I just want to fight, get on with it. I'm going to be 34 this year. I'm moving on, so...
Happy birthday.
Respect, brother. Getting old now, you know what I mean? So just crack on while I'm here. I'm not really wasting my time waiting for people, chasing people. From the day when I started fighting, even from the amateurs, you can see the trajectory I've been on. Ready to get down, ready to put my neck on the line and fight whoever. And it's still like that. Dillian is a very credible, solid opponent. aside from what everyone calls a rivalry, I have to have an underlying respect for every man that steps in the ring, and I have that, which is also going to make me raise my game. So yeah, let's go, man. I could fight now. Do you know what I'm saying? It's in your heart. That's what matters. So whether people think Franklin, technically, I'm a fighter there, and the W's and that is just, it is what it is. I just want to fight.
One interesting dynamic is the new trainers both had a fight.
I got a brilliant trainer. I got a serious trainer now. So yeah, we're going to see like where that development takes.
I said about Buddy's camp flying, your camp flying as well. Errol Spence, the Charlos, Ryan Garcia in camp now with you as well. Must be a great buzz. Very warm in that gym, but a great buzz.
Yeah, it is hot. No one told me about the Texas heat, but we survive. Now, with the rest of the team in the gym, big credit to them as well. It's not really a gym in the sense where it's like we're there to catch jokes and laugh. One thing I do pick up on, though, is work ethic. And remember, for sure, I was in the gym on my own a lot of the time, right? I always felt like being isolated was beneficial for me because I can focus when I moved away from the GB setup. But ultimately, you can only kind of, like, we see and we do from a baby to now, you know. So now I'm even seeing, like, other athletes in the gym running further than me. I'm like, this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker, how's he running further, hitting the heavy bag longer than me? Makes me step up my game. And with an underlying respect for my opponents, with the environment, with the fighting instinct I have, with the fighting IQ I have, if I put it all together, we're ready to get on this train again and rock and roll. I'm looking forward to it.
Finally, Dillian talked about this fight maybe better than the first fight. You expect it to be different to the first fight? It's wild.
First, second, third, this is just the fight. It doesn't matter about what it's better than. It's just, none of it's relevant until the final bell, if it gets that far. So,
do you think we hear the final bell?
I haven't really, I've been meditating on more performance rather than how I'm going to end the fight. I haven't got that fight. We shall see. I'll let you know, Friday before the fight, where my head's at. Yeah. But right now, we're going through a process.
Finally, Dillian, just over 4 weeks to go. Back on a plane, back out to Florida.
Yeah.
Ready to give British fight fans a hell of a night on August 12th.
It's hot as hell in Florida, man, and I love it. It's good vibe, you know. We got Sergey Kovalov, Callum Smith, Dan Aziz, all the boys in camp. You know, obviously some new guys, Zizzo, all these other young guys, Khalil. So it's good to be around. It's a proper fighting environment. I'm not home, you know. I'm not home where I'm bothered with my dogs and family and stuff. I'm away from it, so I can just focus on that, you know. And our gym is a laughing environment. We like to laugh in the gym and have a joke. But it's serious, you know what I mean? I'm quite relaxed, you know what I mean? I'm relaxed, I have a joke with the people. I calm situation down because being a big black heavyweight, a lot of time people get a bit like, oh, what mood is he in? But I'm always smiling and trying to help the guys to relax and help them also to feel a bit of culture and feel relaxed around big heavyweights also, because a lot of these guys are young, middleweight kids, you know what I mean? And they feel kind of scared to come up to you and talk to you and stuff, so I just try and create a friendly environment, man.
And finally, no doubt in your mind, August 12th at the O2 Arena, you take care of business against this man.
That's the plan, man. That's the plan. You know, obviously, you know, I've had 3 losses. I've avenged 1. I want to avenge the other 2. You know, I avenge them 2, then I don't care about boxing after that. You know, that's where I'm at.
AJ, finally, no doubt in your mind, victorious at the O2. It's been an incredible stomping ground for you, never beaten there, and a huge night for your career as well.
Massive night for my career. So yeah. Victorious, 100%. That's my goal, that's my plan, and that's my motivation. So yeah, looking forward to it. Respect to the team. May the best man win.
Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Dillian, Buddy, Alfie. August 12th, live on DAZN pay-per-view around the world. A must-win heavyweight clash at the sold-out O2 Arena. We're going to have a head-to-head in front of us before both guys available to the media. Thank you.
I like it. Both wiser. I think we said that, right? This isn't their first fight. This isn't the second fight. This is them a bit more experienced. 8 years has passed since that, I thought, fantastic fight at the O2 Arena. What did you make of it? Reserved?
Yeah, but don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. That bell goes on August 12th. It's fireworks.
Yeah.
We will not see anything other than pure action.
It felt like it was going to go at times. It felt like...
Well, I was watching AJ and I could see a couple of times when Dillian Whyte was talking.
Dillian Whyte's a lot bigger as well, isn't he? I mean, think of sort of their fight again from December 2015. He wasn't this big. Both, you've got to love a good stare down.
Yeah, I mean, they're both in business, for sure. Yeah. For sure, and I agree with whoever just shouted that this isn't going 12 rounds.
No, I don't expect it to go 12 either. I think that both of them know. We know both can punch. Although, I mean, you look at AJ's recent performances. I mean, he probably wants that knockout, doesn't he? We haven't seen one for a while, since Pulev.
Yeah, exactly, and he'll want that for his confidence going into a fight with Deontay Wilder. He'll be desperate to get that KO.
Is this a risk sort of worth taking? Look, it happens now, isn't it? It happens August 12th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Eddie said it, and we've heard AJ say it as well, that Deontay Wilder fight's there.
It's an important
risk. It's a big money fight as well. It's a legacy-making fight. This isn't that.
Yeah.
It's a risky one, though.
But it's an important risk he's got to take, in my opinion. He needs it. He needs this fight. He needs a fight to get that spike back. Like he said, Dillian Whyte's still a credible opponent. Who else do you fight? I think this is the right man at the right time.
Yeah, both fighters are going to join us in a few minutes. Again, a lot of media. Hopefully, they can kind of skate past all the world's media that are waiting for them and come and speak to us on the podium here. It'd be good to hear from Dillian Whyte. We've not spoken to Dillian Whyte for a long time. Obviously, AJ we do hear from, but it'd be interesting to see sort of the faults of Dillian Whyte, more importantly, just because, again, I feel like he might be the one that's thinking, I'm being overlooked here. I'm being a bit overlooked here, you know. I mean, they've got a Dillian Whyte fight, Deontay Wilder fight planned. What about me? What's gonna? He wants to put a spanner in the works, I'm guessing.
But look, I guess that's his pot gold as well. If he beats AJ, does he then warrant that shot?
He wants that.
He wants that, exactly.
He insisted on the rematch clause coming out of this, just in case if I do beat AJ, I don't want to go again.
No.
I don't want to roll the dice with you again. I want to go for that pot of gold myself. And so
he
the carrot's being dangled for both of them, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, it is massive. It is massive for what the future holds, but it's also important with what if they lose?
Yeah, indeed.
There potentially is no more future for either in the heavyweight division, not at the level they want to fight at
That's
anyway.
how big this fight is, and that's why it sold out the O2 Arena. There were a lot of talk about could they have gone to somewhere bigger, and now I'm guessing, so everyone behind the scenes will be thinking we could have gone a bit bigger, but the O2 Arena is, I think, one of the best venues in the world when it comes to boxing. I think the atmosphere is fantastic. AJ is going to join us now, doing his usual, saying hello to everyone as he goes past. It's always great to see the big man. He joins us now, Anthony Joshua.
Yo.
Fresh from Dallas. When did you get in?
This morning.
This morning?
Yeah, about 6-ish.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Must be shattered.
Little like hour nap.
Yeah.
Fired up, you know how it goes. Living life tired half the time, working, grinding. So we're used
straight
to it.
back.
Wednesday. But work tomorrow.
Well, wait, I know how it goes as well. I'm doing my weight cut, so I know how it goes.
Why are you weight cutting?
He told everyone about it.
I'm going from 205 pounds to 175. An 8-week fight camp just to see what I can do.
See what it's like?
Just to see what it's
how
like.
How you coping?
I'm dying.
You know what? You got to do
really
the sparring.
struggling.
You made weight, right?
Yeah.
Do you know, I respect these guys because imagine sparring when you're fatigued anyway. Imagine sparring when you're hungry, dehydrated. It's just
12 rounds with Carl Froch, dehydrated.
That must have been easy.
Horrible.
Yeah, that's part of the camp. That's part of the camp that we're not doing. We're leaving that camp out. Dillian Whyte.
Yes.
An old nemesis, an old foe. We go again. It was interesting comparing that to how it was in 2015.
Yeah.
You guys are a bit more wiser, a bit more mature. That was interesting.
I can't remember the 2015 press conference.
Yeah.
They need to run it on here, right?
We're going to run it in a bit, don't worry. It was...
Why is everyone... Yeah, do you know, it's a rematch. That's why there's a big comparison. But,
yeah.
It's different. It's definitely different. In my mind, I'm fighting a new opponent. You know, even though there was a previous history. It's like the first time we fought when we were youngsters anyway, like 18, 19. When I fought him in the pros, I didn't think of what happened years ago. So now I'm taking that same approach.
I can see he's buzzing for it.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Do you know what it is as well? I sometimes look at myself now outside of the box and I think this is a good time to express certain elements of talent. Because I'll be looking back in 5-10 years thinking, oh, look at that. When I was moving that footwork off, I wish I moved my head more there. So just do what I need to do.
Yeah. How has your opponent Dillian Whyte improved since that first fight, in your opinion?
Probably more experience with his catch counter. Understands his flaws, obviously. When you've been on the losing end, you understand your flaws. So that's more of an understanding thing. In terms of technicality, I don't know how he's going to approach his training, how he's improving, because he's with Buddy now. I can see he's doing the Philly, not the Philly shell,
like
the cross-arm, the cross-arm defense now, trying to protect himself. Ken Norton, they used to do it and all that type of stuff. So I think he's improving defensively. But he's what I'm trying to say is that from his mistakes, he's still
learning, really.
Yeah.
But that's more of a mental thing, and he's still yet to put it into practice.
The camp, it's a good camp you're in as well right now, full of just special fighters.
Yeah.
What's it like, though? Because you're used to a camp where you're the head honcho. I mean, this is AJ's camp. There are other fighters around it. That's how I wanted to hear. Still the head honcho.
What it is, yeah, is with the camp, I train alone a lot of the time, unless I've got my sparring partners in. So I felt like I never really needed anyone around me. And I don't know how to explain it. When I was in GB, of course, I was around a lot of other athletes. But even then, I would train towards the end of the day. So I kind of missed them anyway. So I don't know. It was just one of them things where I'm fighting. Why do I need to train amongst people? But there is like a small environment in Dallas, in Texas gym. Obviously different timings, but you're always going to cross over, right? Where I'm doing my wraps, putting on my boots, and one's kind of finishing on the heavy bag or sparring. So there is that environment where you're seeing certain techniques and certain people are doing certain things that you're thinking, I'm going to work on that now. Someone could be doing a high punch output and like you're feeling tired, as you do, in the heat or whatever it is you're going through. Then you realize, you know what, forget about it. That's my motivation today. He's done it. I'm going to do it. And that's the environment it creates when you're around top elite people.
There is a huge, I mean, you probably won't want me to talk about this, but the huge fight that may happen in December. Yeah. Looking at that fight, we've all been talking about, is this a big risk? Is this a necessary risk going into that fight? What's your take on that? How are you feeling?
Look, this ain't like, I could be here like, yeah, I'm going to smoke Dillian, I'm going to run through Wilder, then I'm going to fight for the championship. But that's all like projecting a false narrative because it's not reality yet. Yeah. What my reality is I've got Dillian Whyte in front of me. Wilder, of course, that would be amazing. But I'm not waiting around. I could have waited, but I'm not. I need to stay consistent. I need to fight. I don't know what he's doing with his career. He ain't fought for like...
No, it's been a while. It's been
a while. 2 years.
Hellenius, yeah, one round.
Yeah, one round, yeah. So I just need to crack on and do what I'm doing.
With you going into that fight with Wilder, and again, I'm not overlooking this, but would you want to get a KO victory here before you go into that fight?
Not necessarily, because my journey is unique to what I'm doing. Like, when you know boxing, when you watch it, like one example, and I don't want to have to like call out one of the best ever, but let's just, because everyone will know. Ali fought Fraser. Ali fought Norton. Foreman fought Fraser. Foreman fought Norton. It would have been like Foreman's 100% going to win because of the way he's dealt with previous opponents of similar. Yeah, that are similar. And, you know, it's on the night. It ain't about like what I do with Dillian. It's just what I do with Wilder on that night. Look at when Fury fought, what's that name? Safiri?
Yeah, Safiri.
Or Wallin.
Yeah.
Went 12 rounds with Wallin.
Yeah.
And then he went, what did he fight Wilder after that, or did he have one more?
He had, it was Wilder after that.
Yeah, so like, then he went out and took him 12 rounds, and some people say he beat him. I went 12 rounds with Franklin. Everyone's complaining. Fury went 12 rounds with Wallin. No one complained. Like,
I think it's because
I just worry about myself.
Your nature. I think everyone knows.
No,
you want to get the stoppage.
Me.
You want to get the stoppage.
It's because of me.
The people expect that. I think it's because of our
That's what I'm saying. People worry about me too much, though. It was a win. The thing is, in boxing, there's a marketing ability, which is obviously the highlight reels look amazing. But away from that, when I'm in the gym every day and I'm training for 12 rounds and understanding the sweet science, how to pick an opponent apart, like understanding chess moves, fundamentals, I put them into practice in the ring. I can do it in the ring, in front of a Jermaine Franklin, where I'm actually working on my fundamentals. I always felt like if you have to knock an opponent out within 1 to 7 rounds, you must be scared, because why am I rushing to dispatch of an opponent? I'm so comfortable in there. I don't mind spending 12 rounds.
Was you comfortable?
Yeah, that's my mindset. I'm working on what I need to work on. When it comes to the stage now where I've got the fundamentals, I ain't had like some long amateur career or had 100 fights behind me. I'm working. I'm a work in progress. So now, obviously, the nature is that when I'm knocking guys out, I started realizing, oh shit, when you get to a certain level, you can't knock out all these big boys. Everyone's tough. Everyone's got an engine. Everyone's got a chin. What else have you got in the locker except for a knockout punch? Can you stick behind your jab? Have you got defense? Have you got footwork? So I start trying to explore these other options. Look at the Ruiz 2 fight. I realize, all right, cool. What do you do? Art of war. Boxer,
versus a fighter. A boxer will always outbox a fighter.
So what's this, AJ 2.0?
It's just someone that's understanding the dynamics and the fundamentals of boxing. It's simple as that. Like, why? Franklin's shorter than me. Why am I going to go up close and try and have a scrap with him? And yeah, that's a mentality, and yeah, let's have it, but I live to fight another day today.
I think there's part of you that's going to have it, though, against Dillian Whyte. I think it's going to be there.
Of course, that's what I'm trying to say. If it has to, but now I know, let's say I'm at war and I've got a bag behind me. Before, I just used to have a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Now I've got reserves. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to load up my bag. I'm running to war.
I like that. Final one.
But that's just my opinion, right? That's my opinion.
I know you've got 100 different media obligations today. How good is it, though, to have a fight so soon? Like, one thing I've always said is that I want AJ to be active. I've always said it. You're active.
Yeah. It is important.
You're active.
The divisions, it's messed up. Not for anyone's fault of their own, and also there are people that want to step up and fight, of course. But even the ones that want to step up aren't even fighting each other. So it's just a crazy place where the division is, where heavyweight boxing is. But it is what it is.
And the goal remains the same, to be three-time heavyweight champion.
Yeah, definitely.
Love it.
That's like personal as well, you know. Like, I'm not even doing it for anyone. I'm going to do it my way.
Well done.
I think the division's changed since I've been champion, if I'm honest. Slow down a bit.
Well, let's speed it back up again, if you don't mind. Let's speed it back up again. It's not just AJ versus Whyte on DAZN. Loads more boxing coming your way.
And now entering the arena, Kelly.
The sheer power.
The Mom of Gardner.
And look at Alicia. She's going for the gusto.
Hey Diaz, fight me. Creme de la creme right here, I'm coming for you.
Joshua!
Oh! Launching him with a huge right uppercut.
That's some real heavy hitting.
Big heavy hands again from Bams.
Calm, composed, Sonny Edwards.
So many big fights coming your way and to look forward to on DAZN. Saturday, it's a doubleheader with Josh Kelly taking on Gabriel Corzo in Newcastle. All over in Detroit later that night, Alicia Baumgardner meets Christina Linadatu for the second time. Don't forget, Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz is August 5th. And then, of course, it's a blockbuster one that we're here to talk about and celebrate today. It's Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte 2. That goes down August 12th, live on DAZN pay-per-view from the magnificent O2 Arena.
You're proper buzzing for this fight.
I'm excited. See, I'm trying to get him right up. I know you're going to have that fight against Dillian Whyte because look, he likes to play possum a little bit, does AJ? He likes to say things. And I'm like, dude, I know once you get in the ring with Dillian Whyte, it's
right, look,
I know it's fireworks.
You know when I was saying there, look, I know he wants a stoppage. And you know why I know he wants a stoppage? Because at the end of that Franklin fight, he can say all he wants, he was still wanting to go. Yeah. I think it was he was a little disappointed he didn't get the KO.
Of course he was.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel he would be utterly disappointed if he don't stop Dillian Whyte.
No, Dillian Whyte's about to join us now as well. Dillian Whyte, 100%, has the biggest guys around him. Not that he needs it. I mean, Dillian Whyte's like the biggest of the guys around him, but he has the biggest screws around him. And he does join us now. I know Dillian Whyte challenged Tyson Fury for the WBC heavyweight title. And he wants those big fights as well. You know what I like about Dillian Whyte? When Dillian Whyte insisted, get the rematch clause out of this, or we're not doing this fight. Why did you want the rematch clause out so much, Dillian?
Because, listen, I want to progress. I don't want to, listen, if it's a good fight, that's what we can do a rematch. And you don't need a rematch, club. If it's a good fight, we're going to rematch anyway, regardless. But I don't want to be contracted with tied down to having, and then imagine good fight, he gets injured and goes, oh, you're going to wait 8 months for me, and then I can't do nothing. No, you know.
It must be frustrating for you as well. You've not fought since November. November against Jermaine Franklin, the second fight now under Buddy McGirt. Quick word about Buddy. What's it like being in camp with Buddy?
Buddy's a good guy, man. He's a very intelligent guy. He doesn't try to change you too much. He tries to make adjustment, and he asks you questions. He's always asking you questions. And he said, why did you do that move? And then you say, oh, I did it because I feel like this. And he goes, all right. that can work, but don't lean so much to the left. Or when you go that way, come back this way. I try and finish. I throw it a bit quicker. Or I stay lower. Come, you know what I mean? It's very little fine details that I wish I had years ago. You know what I mean? It's like going back to school again.
Last fight was 2015. How are you, well, you certainly yourself, how are you a different fighter? How are you a better fighter? And the same for him, is he a better fighter?
We're much more mature, we're much more experienced, obviously, you know, we're much more calm at different plays. And we're also up in our game, we're still learning and still improving and still getting better as a fighter. And we still got a lot left in the tank, you know what I mean? And obviously, we both believe we can beat each other, and that's the most important thing. Is that one side say that, you know, we both believe we can knock each other out. Like, don't let all this calmness fool you. We both looking at each other thinking, yeah, I'm looking to F you up.
How's your mindset going into this one in compared to the first one? Why I say that is, when you first fought him in the pros, there was this kind of invincibility about AJ. He was knocking everyone out. He was looking so dangerous. But now you've seen there are weaknesses. He can be hurt. Is there going to be a different mindset going
I've always felt that those weaknesses from the first time. And obviously, you know, I went into that fight with an injury, clocked him. You know, it didn't go as left hook. It didn't go as according to plan. I've always seen these weaknesses. They're going to be working on that now, obviously. So I need to look for something else. But yeah, but shit, man, the left hook's always uncut. But you know what? But I don't really watch, because some fighters get up for some fights. There's two guys that can fight 100 times, and it's going to be war. And then he can fight another 100 guys, and then he look shit against them. You understand?
Apologies for the language.
Yeah, sorry. It looked terrible against them. But when it comes to them two guys fighting, it's just going to be a great fight. I think we'll fight 100 times. Win, lose, or draw, it's going to be a great fight.
Why is it taking so long to get this second fight with AJ? I know you wanted it straight after the first fight. You were begging for this. 8 years it's taken for you guys to get back in the ring again.
Business, because they know I'm dangerous to business. They know I'm dangerous to business, you know. They know I'm dangerous to business, and AJ wanted to do what he wanted to do. Eddie didn't want this fight. AJ wanted to fight. Eddie didn't want this fight because obviously Adrian's a businessman. They know the business.
I asked...
Wait, sorry. So why do you think AJ wanted it then?
Because he wants to prove to people that he's still a dog and he's still got a dog in him. I'm like... But that's good, because you know, like I said, that might work in my favor, man. You know?
AJ has apparently got this fight looming in December with Deontay Wilder. 2 questions for you. If you was to beat AJ on August 12th, is that the fight you want? And is your goal still to be a heavyweight world champion?
I go definitely to be a heavyweight. Listen, I want 3 things on boxing. I want to avenge my defeats, you know, which is obviously AJ Fury. I don't want to become world champion, man. I want to become world champion. I want to make some money too.
You got too much money.
You got money.
I ain't got no
money. You got money. He got a lot of money.
Bro, I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I'm
broke. He says this for the tax man.
I'm broke. I ain't got no money. Okay, I want the AJ money.
Indeed. O2 Arena. Obviously, fantastic venue. Sold out as well. Even for you as a fight fan, it must be nice walking into a venue. You did it with Tyson Fury, a venue that you know sold out.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It's just good to know that you're part of an event. That it's good to know that you're still a draw. You know what I mean? It's good to feel that. Yeah, you're still a draw. People still come out to support you, obviously, because they forget. You say, "Oh, Tyson Fury this, Tyson Fury that." Tyson Fury don't sell out with Wilder. They sell out with me because I play massive part. AJ is selling out again with me because I play massive part. I didn't sell out with Franklin. You know, obviously, because I'm saying, obviously, when you get 2 draws, that's what happens. Fight sell out and fight spark. It becomes a big fight.
Dillian, where do you think you are now in this heavyweight mix? Honest question.
I have no idea, bro. Yeah. I have no idea. All I want to do is fight. I want to fight. There's 3 or 4 guys I want to fight. And if I get the chance to fight them before I retire, then I'll be more than happy, man.
Yeah. Do you think you're 2 fights away from fighting for a world title again?
I have no idea.
AJ, are you thereabouts?
I have no idea. You see the heavyweight division, you just got to stay
ready,
active and stay ready. You understand? Because you can even lose a fight and then get a call. You understand? So you just got to stay ready, because as long as you're one of the top guys and you're exciting and you put good fights, and you get opportunities, man.
On the flip side, right, playing devil's advocate, if you was to lose, if you was to lose on August 12th, then what?
I'm not thinking about that, man. Well, let's see. I'm not thinking about that. You know what I mean? I'm not. In these fights, you can't go in thinking, if I lose, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna come back, or I'm gonna retire. I never go into a fight. I've got to say, if I go into a fight thinking about that, then I'll call it a day. You know, I'll call it a day because something's not right there.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of life left in. How's the dogs getting on?
The dogs is good. The dogs is good. The dogs is good. It's hard being away from the dogs.
Are they in Florida as well?
No. I got 7 dogs. I can't bring them to Florida, bro.
Indeed. How weird is it? AJ in Dallas, Dillian Whyte in Florida. When do you go back?
Tomorrow, the day after,
Wow.
I think. Yeah. It's a bit annoying though, man. I just start settling and things is getting good. The fight's made press conference. I'm like, you
got to do it. I know Dylan Whyte didn't want to do it, but he's got to do it.
We should have done it in New York, though.
That would have been nice, isn't it?
I said to Eddie, why don't we do it in New York in Times Square?
Ooh, that would have been interesting. I would have flown out for that one.
I'd have had some of that.
That was perfect. That was a perfect thing. Done in New York, and that would have been perfect.
I think there should be one more presser in New York, actually.
No.
He's done now. Now it's sold out. He's done. He's done.
We missed the trick
We
there.
missed it, yeah. AJ versus Dillian Whyte live on DAZN, August 12th. Make sure you're there. It's sold out. You can't get a ticket, so there's only one place to watch it.
Great British rivalries. Does anyone do it better? Flickering away in the darkness, the fire never truly dies. Waiting for the perfect moment to reignite.
Things that is some sort of mystery, man.
I knocked you out clean.
In the battleground of the O2 Arena, 2 of heavyweight boxing's biggest names will meet again for one last dance. One final war.
Emotions are flaring.
Anthony Joshua.
The return to London.
Dillian Whyte.
He's built for the big occasion.
2 men with history. A history of victory. A history of revenge.
Redemption.
A history of pain.
The most shocking turnaround.
A history of violence.
Oh, big right hand. Ferocious finish. He's all over the place. So much at stake here.
Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte 2. August the 12th, live only on DAZN.